Hello guys and welcome back to our second session of Henry Fayol, which is nothing but dealing with 14 principles of management or administration. If you have not watched the first session of Fayol, please go back and watch that. The link for the same would be in the description. So moving ahead with 14 principles of management as given by Henry Fayol. So as we have already seen in our previous session, there was a controversy regarding the terms of management and administration. So on whatever side you feel you are on, the 14 principles of management or administration are nothing but the first is division of work. We have seen this in our previous very first slide of classical theory, that division of work was the central tenet of the classical theory as a whole. You consider any thinker of classical theory, they have all propagated for division of work. So what basically division of work is, consider a car making factory which manufactures cars. So there would be different sections in that car making factory. One section would be dealing only with design of cars, one section would be dealing only with the tires of the cars, one section would be dealing with the engines. So there is division of work in the car making factory as a whole. There is division of work and people have been assigned only that particular task. So this is what division of work means. It brings in specialization. What is specialization? For example, if I am working in the engine making part of the car making factory, I would be specialized in making engines. I would be specialized in everything regarding to the engines of that car. I would not be so much special in the tires of that car, but I would be very much special in the engines of that car. So division of work basically brings in specialization. You become a specialist in that field, in that division which you are working in. So division of work leads to specialization. Fayol says that specialization belongs to the natural order. It is the nature's thing to specialize things. So specialization belongs to the natural order because it produces more and better work with the same effort. It applies to all kinds of work, be it technical or managerial. Every kind of work can be divided accordingly and can be specialized accordingly. So it applies to all kinds of work. We have seen this in our previous session. According to Fayol, administrative theory was universal, so it applies to all kinds of work. According to Fayol, this is necessary to achieve maximum efficiency. So if we have to achieve maximum efficiency, divide your work into smaller parts and achieve efficiency in those smaller parts. For example, in a car making factory, again the same example, the efficiency of one particular group of people working on the engine day in and day out would be more, rather than one person working on everything. If one person works on the engine, the tires, the design of the cars, everything, the efficiency will not be that much, rather than when you have divided the work and you have brought in the specialization. So division of work brings in specialization. This is the first principle of 14 principles of management that Fayol gave us, division of work or specialization. The second principle is nothing but authority and responsibility. Fayol defined authority as the right to give orders. This is nothing but very simple, right? The right to give orders is nothing but authority. Also, it is the power to exact obedience. After you have given orders, if you have the power that the subordinates obey your orders, so that is nothing but authority. Authority is nothing but right to give orders and the power to exact obedience from the subordinates. Thus, authority is the legitimate right to command. If you have the authority, you have the legitimate right to command your subordinates or influence others to behave toward the attainment of specific goals of an administrative system. So you can influence other people, you can influence your subordinates, your friends. If you have the authority, you can influence them to behave in a certain way to achieve specific goals of your organization. This is nothing but authority as defined by Fayol. According to Fayol, authority and responsibility are interrelated and commensurate. Responsibility is corollary of authority. What this means is, authority and responsibility go hand in hand. They are interrelated. They are very much related. For example, occupant of each position should be given enough authority to carry out all the responsibilities assigned to him. Let's say there are various levels in an organization. There is a peon, there is a manager, there is a CEO. So every level of organization have some responsibilities attached to them. The peon, the clerk, the manager, the CEO will have some responsibilities assigned to them. So to execute those responsibilities, there should be appropriate amount of authority given. This is why Fayol says that authority and responsibility go hand in hand. If you want the occupant of each position to carry out their responsibilities, you should give them enough authority to carry out those responsibilities. So authority and responsibility are interrelated. This is nothing but our second principle. So third principle is nothing but of the principle of discipline. The term discipline is very straightforward. Everyone now understand what discipline means is. Discipline is nothing but respect for agreements which are directed at achieving obedience, application, energy and outward marks of respect. So as an employee, you have certain agreements with an organization, so you have to respect those agreements. This is nothing but discipline on your part. Discipline is nothing but respect for agreements, and these agreements are nothing but directed at achieving your obedience, your application and energy, and your respect towards the organization. This is nothing but discipline. It is incumbent upon managers at higher levels as much as upon lower level employees. So everyone has to maintain discipline. This is nothing but the third principle. Fourth principle is unity of command. Fayol says that for any action whatsoever, an employee should receive orders from one superior only. Now if you remember F.W. Taylor's session, we have discussed something known as functional foremanship. Now what is functional foremanship? It is nothing but one employee will get orders from 8 specialized supervisors. F.W. Taylor says that this will bring in more efficiency because 8 specialized supervisors will give orders to every worker, each single worker. Opposed to this, what Fayol says is, Henry Fayol says that for any action whatsoever, an employee should receive orders only from one superior. This is different from the approach that Taylor adopted of functional foremanship. Fayol suggests unity of command, one superior for every employee and not more than one. Should it be violated, should this principle be violated, authority is undermined, discipline is in jeopardy, and order disturbed and stability threatened. This is very obvious because authority is nothing but your power to command and your power to exact obedience from your subordinates. So if you give power to command to 8 specialized supervisors, let's say in functional foremanship of F.W. Taylor, so what is happening is authority of each of those bosses is undermined, and there is also lack of discipline and stability gets threatened. So individual cannot adapt to dual command. This is what Fayol believes. Individuals cannot adapt to dual command, and that is why there should be unity of command. Dual command arises because of, Fayol gives us 3 reasons of rising of dual command. First one is dividing up of authority. If you divide up authority, then dual command arises. Second one is imperfect demarcation of departments, if departments are not demarcated properly. Third one is constant linking up between different departments, natural intermeshing of functions, so nothing but overlapping of departments. This arises again from imperfect demarcation of departments. So dual command arises because of these 3 reasons that Fayol says. The fifth principle that Fayol gives us is of nothing but unity of direction. He says that there should be one head and one plan for each activity. This brings in unity of action. Let's say there is a car making factory, or let's say there is a shoe making factory which manufactures shoes. So there are various divisions in shoe making factory. One division deals with design of shoes, one division deals with stitching of shoes, one division deals with polishing of shoes. So let's say for the activity of polishing of shoes there are 8 supervisors. There would not be any unity of action. Workers will not be able to determine which supervisor to follow, which instruction is good, which instruction is better, and which instruction is bad. So he says that along with unity of command there should also be a unity of direction. The plans for each activity should be one. Even if let's say there is one manager and if he comes up with 5 plans of the same activity, that is not efficient, is what Fayol says. You should have one plan for each activity, one head, that is unity of command, and also one plan, that is unity of direction. This brings in unity of action. If you have unity of command and unity of direction, you have unity of action. Unity of command cannot exist without unity of direction but does not flow from it. What this means is unity of direction is not a prerequisite for unity of command. Unity of command can be taken up without unity of direction. You can have one manager first and then you can have one plan afterwards. So unity of direction is not a prerequisite for unity of command, but at the same time unity of command cannot exist without unity of direction. You need unity of direction so that unity of command can be effectively executed. So this was our third, fourth and fifth principles: discipline, unity of command and unity of direction. Moving on to our sixth principle, that is nothing but subordination of individual interest to general interest. So every person has some self-interest, has some individual interest. Fayol says that these individual interests should be subordinated in favor of general interest or the goals of organization. If the goals of organization have to be achieved, some of the individual interests have to be sacrificed, have to be subordinated. So subordination of individual interest to general interest is our sixth principle of management. Seventh is remuneration of personnel. What do you mean by remuneration? It means nothing but salary or wages or the payment that you get. It is the price for services rendered. Whatever services you render in an organization, if you get salary for that, payment for that, wages for that, that is nothing but remuneration. Fayol says that this salary or payment should be fair and it should afford satisfaction to both employee and the employer. This is what Fayol suggests. This principle is similar to Taylor's economic man assumption. We have already dealt with economic man assumptions. Please visit previous sessions for that. This is our seventh principle, that is remuneration of personnel should be fair and afford satisfaction to both employee and the employer. The eighth principle is centralization. What do you mean by centralization? It is nothing but concentration of power or concentration of control in the hands of one particular group of people or one particular person. This is nothing but centralization. So Fayol says that centralization, like division of work, belongs to the natural order. He gives us an example for this. He says that in every organism, be it animal or social organism. What is social organism? Human beings. So in every organism, including human beings, sensations converge toward the brain or the directive part. We have a brain or the directive part which directs us. All the sensations in all the organisms converge towards this brain or directive part, and from the brain or directive part, orders are sent out which set all parts of the organism in movement. This is nothing but centralization. He says that centralization belongs to the natural order, and this is the example he gives for that. He stated that centralization is present to a greater or lesser extent in all the organization. All the organizations have centralization. The question of centralization or decentralization is a simple question of proportion. In what proportion there is a concentration of power in the hands of one particular group of people or one particular person. So there is only the question of proportion. All the organization have, to some extent, greater or lesser extent, they have the idea of centralization imbibed in them. Everything which increases the importance of subordinates role is decentralization, and everything which goes on to reduce it is centralization. This is nothing but the principle given by Fayol. This is the eighth principle, that is centralization. Moving on to our ninth principle, that is scalar chain or hierarchy. We have dealt with this numerous times in our previous sessions. Please watch previous sessions for this. Hierarchy is nothing but the top down approach or the pyramidal approach. We have dealt with this in our previous sessions. Even in the session of new public administration we have dealt with this. So what Fayol says is scalar chain is nothing but the line of authority. It is a line of authority from the lowest level to the highest level. So the line of authority of superiors ranging from the ultimate authority to the lowest ranks. This is nothing but scalar chain. This line of authority is dictated by the principle of unity of command. This path is at times slow and lengthy, especially in a large government organization. If you follow scalar chain in a government organization, it can be very slow and lengthy, and it can be very long. This hierarchy can be very long. Hence Fayol suggested an alternative route known as Gangplank. We learn about Gangplank in our feature slides. So what Fayol suggested was an alternative for government organization or large organizations where scalar chain cannot be effectively followed. He gave us an alternative route which is known as Gangplank, which involves short circuiting the procedure to speed up the communication. Instead of following all the levels of hierarchy, we can short circuit. We'll learn about this in our feature slides. So coming to our 10th principle, which is nothing but order. Fayol says that there should be order to everything. There should be a particular order, and he gives us two types of orders. First is material order for physical resources. So for example, in a car making factory or a shoe making factory, you require some raw materials, some physical resources. So Fayol says that there should be material order for all the physical resources. There should be a place for everything, and everything should be in its proper place. For example, if I give you an example of our home, everyone in our home has a shoe rack to keep shoes. So there should be a place for everything. So there should be a shoe rack, or there should be a cupboard to place your clothes, and everything should be in its proper place. If you have a shoe rack, if you have a cupboard, shoes should be kept in the shoe rack and clothes should be placed in the cupboard. This is what Fayol meant by material order for physical resources. There should be a place for everything, and everything should be in its proper place. Second type of order, he says, is the social order for human resources. Right man for the right work. This is also what was propagated by F.W. Taylor. So please go back and watch Taylor's session for this. This is the second type of order that the Fayol talks about. First is material order, second is social order. And he says that maintaining these two orders properly will ensure that everybody knows his workplace and what he is to do and from where he would get his required material. So if you maintain these orders, efficiency will be achieved, in short. Consequently, all the available resources in the organization would be utilized properly. This is nothing but our 10th principle, which is nothing but order. 11th is equity. Head of the organization, the managers, the management, the head of the organization should adopt the attitude of justice and kindness towards his employees. He should treat all employees equal. This would generate loyalty and dedication. That means he should treat all his subordinates, all his employees equally. This is nothing but is the 11th principle of equity. All the employees should be given equal treatment. The 12th principle is nothing but of stability of personnel. What this means is, from the point of view of management, it is absolutely harmful to change the employees frequently, as it is a reflection of inefficient management. What this means is, if you transfer your employees frequently, if you fire your employees frequently, if there is no stability in your team, what this reflects is nothing but inefficient management. It will also result in increased expenses. For example, if you transfer your employees frequently or fire your employees frequently, this would result in frequent selections of new employees and then giving them training afresh. So this results in increased expenses. Apart from this, it also creates a feeling of insecurity among the employees. It keeps them busy in finding out new avenues of work and no sense of dedication among them. So insecurity and lack of dedication also gets created among the employees if you keep them firing and if you keep them transferring frequently. Enough time should be given. Fayol says that enough time should be given to each worker to acquire the competence of doing his work satisfactorily. This is nothing but your 12th principle of stability of personnel. Second last principle of 14 principles is the 13th principle of initiative. In this principle, Fayol says that all the employees, all the subordinates should be given the opportunity to come up with new initiatives, to come up with their own ideas, their own thoughts. This is nothing but is meant by principle of initiative. According to Fayol, it is the duty of manager to encourage the feeling of initiative among his employees for doing some work or taking some decision, but within the limits of authority and discipline. What this means is, the authority of the manager should not be undermined while giving the initiative to the subordinates. You should give the initiative, but within the limits of authority and within the limits of discipline of the employee. And Fayol says that this initiative principle will be possible only when the manager will welcome the thoughts of his or her subordinates. So he should be more welcoming. He should abandon his false sense of prestige. His ego should be abandoned. Gradually, workers will become an integral part of the organization. This is what the principle of initiative will achieve. And the last principle that Fayol suggests is esprit de corps. This is nothing but harmony among the employees. This is a phrase which suggests teamwork and harmony among the team. As you can see, a manager should continuously make efforts to develop a team spirit among the subordinates. This is nothing but esprit de corps. They should develop a team spirit among the subordinates or the employees, harmony and union among the personnel of an organization, and this will be nothing but a source of great strength to the organization. These are the 14 principles of management as given by Taylor. Now, regarding these 14 principles, Fayol himself has agreed that this is not a complete or exhaustive list of principles of administration. They can be added or subtracted according to need. He himself admits to this fact. He says that these are not the exhaustive list of principles, and you can add new principles and subtract from these according to your needs, according to the time that you are in. He also says that his principles of administration are not rigid rules but are flexible and capable of adaptation. You can mold them. These are not rigid rules. You can mold them according to your needs. Further, Fayol stated that the codification of principles is indispensable. He said that this is not an exhaustive list, this is not a complete list, and these are not the rigid rules, but still he believes that codification of these principles, laying down these 14 principles, is necessary. It is indispensable. Why he says that? Because without principles, one is in darkness and chaos. Interest, experience and proportion are still very handicapped. If you have interest, if you have experience, it is still very handicapped without principles. This is why Fayol says that codification of principles is indispensable. The principle is the lighthouse fixing the bearings, but it can only serve those who already know the way into the port. So what this means is, if you know your way into the port, only then can the lighthouse guide you. So you should have the experience already with you, and principles of administration or management is just a cherry on topping for that. So this is what Fayol himself believes about his 14 principles of management. So what I'll do is I'll stop the session here, and the last part of the session on Henry Fayol will deal with all the remaining topics, which is nothing but miscellaneous topics, criticisms and relevance of Henry Fayol in today's times. So the link for that would be in the description of this video. Go ahead and do that. Peace out.